this for forever, it feels like, but there's so many moving parts in getting this feature to feel just right. But we are inching ever closer. And I am, of course, talking about Stately Sky. We even had a special episode a while back where we had Sunil from PartyKit join us. And PartyKit is a big component of Stately Sky. So today we're just going to show you the current status of Stately Sky. And as I mentioned, it is getting closer. So starting next week, we will start to onboard a few external testers. So if you'd like to try what you see here, please DM me on our Discord at Nelson, and I'll try to get you sorted as quickly as possible. But I'll show you a quick demo here of how you can use Stately Sky for something that most applications probably need at some point. So on the right here, you can see we have the studio, and I've modeled a very simple onboarding flow where we start out in the state welcome, and then we can start our onboarding flow. We can now go to a visual editor page, and then the user can say...
Could you ruin your framing a little bit and zoom it in a touch for us?
I can
just
try.
So we can read the text. It's very nicely fitted into the space there. There we go. Thank you.
So this onboarding flow moves the user through a series of steps to make sure that they've seen the parts of an application we want them to see. So this is very loosely modeled after the Stately Studio, where we have a visual editor, we have a projects page, we have discover and search. And on each step, the user can opt to either skip this step or they can go back, and they can also say complete, which means they have now seen this thing and we don't need to nag them again anytime soon. So, and the fun thing about this flow actually is I used generate flow to build it. I didn't even model
Nice.
it. I just typed in one phrase and it modeled it. So on the left, you can see I have like a very typical React application. And when I want to use this flow on the right inside React, Stately Sky will enable you to do this, where you basically open a run panel and should show something more here. There it is. It gives you some brief info about what Stately Sky is. It links to our documentation page about how to get started. And it lets you deploy a new thing. We're still undecided on the terminology. It's probably going to get the name workflow, or if you have a better term, let us know. And then we can see down here existing deploys. I can create a new one if you want to, but I'll reuse what we have up here. What it'll do is it'll actually spin up a brand new thing running on PartyKit and Cloudflare. And it gives you this nice little short URL. And we can copy that URL and paste it straight into our React application. And since this is actually multiplayer enabled, we want each session to belong to something. And in this case, we want the session to be the user ID. Now that we have this, we can run a new command called sky. Similar to what we have with Xstate typegen, we now have an Xstate sky command that fetches the machine config so that you have it locally, so that it's not just running inside a black box. You can see it even updated my code here to insert this sky config. So now when I hover over this state, probably not easy to see, but yeah, not easy to see. But if you can see the first line, you can actually see, I'm even pointing to the screen here. I'm old. You can see that it actually has...
If only it wrapped, if only.
Yeah, if only it wrapped. You can see it actually has the states. This is fully type safe from what's inside the editor. It's pretty cool. And you can even go in, you can inspect the file if you want to. So if we just click on this thing, you can go in, you can see the entire config that was downloaded. Now to the cool part. So this is the actual running application. And I've just posted images here to make it clear which machine it is.
Could you do a little bit of a zoom on the browser on that side?
Zoom here.
Thank you.
And now you can see I have these check marks down here if I've seen the pages in the flow. So now I can start my onboarding modal. And I can see I'm on this first step. And to make this really fun, let me open it in a secondary window as well, just so you can see that this is actually multiplayer. Now I'll just operate the right-hand side. I press start, but you can see the left window is following along nicely. I can skip. Now I'm on the visual editor. I want to skip that for a bit. Let me close this over here so you can see when I now press complete on the projects page, this other application that could be running anywhere in the world should get a check mark in the projects page.
Yes.
And I can keep going, and at the end I can either close or I can refresh. And the cool thing is we're persisting state for you. So when you come back to this application at any point, this state will still be here and it will still be multiplayer enabled. So if I come back reset using that same session ID, it now resets over here. So yeah, this should enable you to build really, really fun, small React applications and JavaScript applications in general in a type safe and hopefully fun way.
And so little code there as well.
And oh yeah, one cool little trick as well. So you see this URL that we copy pasted? If I now copy this into my browser, I just paste it and I wonder what this is. It'll actually open the editor at that very version that's running inside your code. So you can see exactly what you have running in your code. And this is just like the first steps we have thought out for Sky. There's going to be so much more cool things, functionality coming, but this first bit is getting released this year. And as I mentioned, DM me for early access starting within the next few weeks.
So if you want to ask Anders about early access, you can join our Discord at discord.stately.ai if you are not there already. And who are you on Discord again, Anders?
Melson. MELLSON. Yeah.
So you'll be able to find him there. That's so exciting. I love how it works so well with multiplayer as well. It's so quick.
It's really, really quick. It's so fun. I can't wait to see like small games and whatever users are going to think of using this.
Yeah,
white noise machines.
Yeah.
I was going to mention like onboarding flows are a very simple application of this, but this could easily be for games or other multiplayer things that require a state machine. There's just so many possibilities, and it's really awesome how easy it is to do.
Yeah, and it's like one of the things that's so neat to me is you just paste the URL in from the Stately Studio, and then you use it just like Xstate. Like it's just a drop in. Instead of configuring the machine in your local file, you just configure it in the web browser in Stately Studio, put in a URL, and it's kept in sync, and it just downloads it, and you can click the link and it'll open it. It's type safe. I mean, it's just so neat, and you just use state and send just like normal.
Yeah, it as you say, it is meant to be a drop-in replacement of the regular Xstate API. So it lends to the application where you can be concerned about the front end and just drop in these simple stately Sky things, and then you have a full backend. You don't even have to be concerned about server side.
I want to answer this question real quick. What kind of pricing will this use? In the beta period, if you're a pro user, then this is going to be included. We're still determining pricing for this, but the initial plan is to just have it be part of your pro subscription, which is only $12.50 a month if you pay for a year. So really cheap. We might introduce usage-based pricing in the future, but for now, we want to make it just very inexpensive for you.
Just one quick question. If you were to use it for any backend workflow, is there a way to opt out of the multiplayer state?
It's up to you because you provide the session ID. So as long as you don't share the session ID with other running instances of that application, it's single-threaded, so to say. But as long as you start sharing the session ID, it is multiplayer.
So it's multiplayer by default. Not by default, but like it's multiplayer enabled. You can have it be multiplayer or not. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be so easy to set things up with multiplayer. I can think of loads of cool little apps that we can build for this for demos in the future as well. Oh, and hey, if anyone does have any ideas of apps or demos, you could bake them yourself and let Anders know so you can get access, or you can request an example on our feedback board. That's at feedback.stately.ai. We have a list of examples there. If you let us know what you want to see, maybe we can build a little app that will be fun.
Yep. Tyler had one more question. Sky has plans for PartyKit integration, correct? And right now, the demo that you just saw is powered by, I was going to say is partied by PartyKit. It's powered by PartyKit. Will the multiplayer usage be a potential add-on based on usage? So, like Gavin said, and like Honor said, it's multiplayer by default. So, just I think that's the base model we're working at right now.
It is, yeah.
Great. Well, that's one really exciting thing. And moving on to something else really exciting and very new. David, do you want to show us what's been going on with generating test paths? We've been talking about this for years. The